Uh, you know what it is? Taylor to coaching. It's time for Mercury, don't you know? So I figured I'd start the show with a freestyle, bro. That's how I go, cause the planet's so quick. 88 days and it's magnific. That means quicker. It's like the liquor. Don't you pour it out, you know my skills are sicker. The Virgo of Mercury, and now it's in transit C. It's at 0 degrees, and it also is me. I represent it cause it's home there. My thought is so quick, it's not fair. Logical, critical, analytical thinking. Don't you know, it's not pretty and pinking, but my ink is so ill with the pad. I write stories, shouting out my dad. Freestyle rhymes, they just go to heaven. Don't you understand, it's like Channel 11. Back in the days, come home just from school. Chocolate milk and Donkey Kong, you know, cool. Watching Batman, you see, Speed Racer cartoon, that's how it be. The Mercury just rolls down the Bach in your local community. Check the flock, you got your siblings, your cousins, your neighbors too. Don't you understand, it's them skills too. I watch it brew. My self-effort, my athletic ability. It also equals the agility of the verbals and your more communication, social media, and I'm here to save the nation. But they don't really want me to save them, see? So all I'm gonna give you is poetry off of the T, O and the P. That means off of the tizzy freestyle, I get busy, B. Shout out to the old school rapper. Don't you understand? You know I'm a little dapper, never a napper. Lyrically always awake. Told the whole world make no mistakes. Don't take a break. Make you see. I'll put you in the coffin if you verbally challenge me. I am the E. Complete. It's E complete, B. Mercury. 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 Episode 28, Knowledge is Love podcast. Ooh, ooh. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Taylor to you coaching. Let's turn off everything. How's everybody doing? Wanted to give you a little bit of Mercury, right? Little freestyle rhyme off the top of the head. Oh man, listen, y'all missed the doozy. I mean, I actually did the show with Miss Veronica Clark, and it literally did not record. Technology was acting crazy, as if my Mercury was in retrograde, but it wasn't. But that's okay. She'll be back on. We're trying to figure out our schedules, but maybe she'll be episode 29, 30, 31, but she's coming soon. And I have other amazing guests coming soon, and I'll be working on my first male guest coming soon. But tonight we're going to talk about Mercury, going through the signs, the meaning of the planet, and where is your Mercury at? Okay, that's what I want to know. I want you to share. You can, comment in the chat where your Mercury is and what house it's in. All right, and we'll talk about Mercury, 0 degrees in Virgo. Okay, and the moon is in Libra, right? As you see for the graphic for the show, and the ascendant is in Capricorn. I decided to make a little different graphic, flip it up for y'all, because that's how your boy does it. It's Mercury time. So, hope everybody's doing well. I'm sure we'll get some people coming in here soon.
You have somebody watching this one.
All right. Hey, how you doing? Eric Taylor 2 coaching. So, what is Mercury? Mercury is the smallest planet. It's the closest planet to the sun. It revolves around the sun in 88 days, where the Earth is 365, Mercury's 88 days. Brrr. That's why I say that in a lot of my videos. Watch my Mercury series. And after this is done, I'll link my Mercury series in here so you guys can watch it and stuff. But Mercury is the mimic, the court gesture, right? It's critical, logical, analytical thinking. It's processing how we learn. Our writing, right? It's text, social media. Mercury is a very important planet, and it can tell you a lot when you're looking at a birth chart, especially for parents, right? I always tell you, get your birth chart done for your children. Well, it's very important because Mercury can... go fix this stuff for mom now. I'll start and then come back. Yeah. So Mercury is very, it's very important to learning about how someone can deal with elementary school, their education. Make sure that door's closed. So, and this is what I'm saying, that you got to understand Mercury, it also rules cars, right? You're talking about like your local communities, the third house, but Mercury is transportation. Okay. So remember, it's the messenger. So what Mercury does is that it's like it's going up to the sun and like, what'd you say? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. And then it brings the messages. And it will do the same with the moon. Mercury is kind of like that messenger from like the god and the goddess, But it's at home in Gemini and at home in Virgo. Okay. Now a lot of people say Gemini is like the vacation home and Virgo's the real home. So in the sidereal Vedic astrology, Mercury is exalted in Virgo, right? And Western tropical, which I do, Mercury is exalted in Aquarius because Uranus, is whatever you want to say, is the higher octave of Mercury, right? Higher thought, higher mind. Well, Jupiter's really the higher mind, but Uranus is like when you all are looking at like sort of intelligence and like brilliant thinking, abstract thought, right? You're dealing with Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus. Okay. Next time when you leave, just close the door.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So that's very important to understand that those three elements of kind of learning and beliefs and big picture, right? Because Mercury is the lower mind, where Jupiter is the higher mind. Okay. Now, Mercury, when you're dealing with like medical astrology, Mercury rules the hands, right? It rules the lungs. Okay. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So shoulders and wrists and arms. Okay. That's all Mercury. It's creativity, It's so important because with Mercury, you can see someone's, you got to look at other planets too, but you can see someone's athletic ability, someone's their skills. Mercury has a very important place in the birth chart, and soon I'll let you guys vote, but I plan on probably doing Mercury through the houses maybe right after I finish Venus. And I hope you guys are watching that series. Tomorrow I'll be probably putting up Venus in the second house and recording Venus in the third house. But I'm busy, right? Like always, hit me up at taylor2coaching@gmail.com. But I'm busy doing your birth charts, doing relationship and chronic illness coaching. So, your boy is doing stuff. So what's fascinating about Mercury, though, is also it plays out in a sense that it's so close. So let's say, for example, right, the sun is now in Leo. So that means automatically Mercury is either going to be in Cancer, Leo, or Virgo. So it's either the same sign, the sign before, the sign after, right? So if you meet someone, right away if they tell you they're a Taurus, do you know the way that they logically think and communicate, right? Not their speech, that's the Venus. That's that second house energy. But their Mercury is their logical, critical, analytical mind. The moon is your emotional mind, how you react, right? Mercury is how you think, communicate, right? So, if they say I'm a Taurus, well, they're either Aries, Taurus, or, Gemini and Mercury. So there's just little tricks in terms of when you're meeting somebody, right? If you're trying to go on a date or, whatever, you're like, oh, you're a Taurus sun? Okay, that Mercury. Maybe you got Mercury and Taurus like Kanye West or, Notorious B.I.G. or, you know what I mean? So one thing that I like about Mercury also, it can indicate not only someone's acting ability, but their painting, drawing, designing ability, because it is the hands, right? So we're going to go through the 12 signs and break that down. And then I will, take your questions. You guys can comment in if you're in, say hello. I normally come on Thursdays, usually around 6 or 7. Pacific. So 5:30, But I figured, hey, I'm gonna come on a little early. Maybe I'll catch some people that can't, rock with me that late on the East Coast. But sometimes I'm on 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And then you know how your boy is. I want to watch NBA Summer League. My Knicks are playing the Lakers at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So we got to wrap this up. But I'm here for you, okay? I'm here for you, and I'm here to share some of this Mercury knowledge, right? So I want to start off with a freestyle. Sometimes I play some of my recorded songs. I've freestyled before, but I wanted to do that because that is part of, Mercury and its verbal ability, right? You can see it for debaters, but also Mars you can see for debate, right? Mars-Mercury combinations. Oh, excuse me. Oh, gosh. So let's start off with Aries. Aries, the ram, forget the flim flam. I'm going to show you who I am. Competition is none. So when you have, now, so also I told you it was at home in Gemini and Virgo and exalted in Aquarius. So that means it's debilitated in Sagittarius, right? The opposite of Gemini. Also debilitated in Pisces, the opposite of Virgo. So if it's exalted in Aquarius, right, over here at the 11th house, then it falls. It's in its fall in Leo. Not a bad thing if you have it in Leo or Sag or Pisces. It's not the end of your speech. You won't be stuttering or tongue-tied. It just means the way that you communicate. It's not, it's, how can I explain it? It's not at its like purest point, right? So, well, we'll get to it. I'll explain it to you as we get there. So Mercury and Aries, I'm thinking, oh my God, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Al Pacino. I won't remember famous people for all of them, but I was just thinking off the top of the head. Maybe Mariah Carey, but Kyrie Irving. But these people are going to be they might speak before they think, right? Flat Earth, Kyrie Irving, right? But they can be verbally aggressive or assertive, right? But remember, Aries is a brilliant energy. I think sometimes because it's, this cardinal fire sign, and it's like the baby, people misinterpret Aries and don't realize that it's like this leader that's outgoing, and it's this warrior, soldier, fighter, and it's maverick pioneering energy. So when you have Mercury in Aries, these people can, be a little verbally combative, definitely competitive, okay? They will definitely speak without thinking. They'll just blurt some stuff out, and they don't like to hear the word no, and they're gonna really do what they want to do. Okay, they're not like waiting for you to say, oh, should I do this or should I do this and that or whatever. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna do this and da da da. So they're not really concerned about your opinion as much. Okay, they can get into arguments. They can be very quick speaking people. You'll find that with Mercury and Aries and Gemini, and I'll mention a few others, but they can tend to speak a little bit faster, speak without thinking, get themselves into little verbal spats and arguments. But I'll say this: Mercury and Aries, they will have some thoughts and ideas about business, because Mercury also can deal with like sales and marketing, right? And your self-effort. So they can really have some very pioneering, like maverick type of ideas. All right. So just know Mercury in Aries is fiery. It's not an introspective energy. It's more outward. Okay. It's projecting. All right. Initiating. So, anybody in the Chizat? Who's that? Oh,
No.
okay. So, now when you get to Mercury and Taurus, now Aries, right, ruled by Mars. So, Mercury and Mars, that's a quick burst, right? So, when you get to Taurus, ruled by Venus, when you have your Taurus and Mercury, you take your time when you're verbally responding or contemplating or thinking or speaking.
You can have a very smooth voice, be very artistic. You can be, good at acting, at painting, drawing, coloring. All right. The young actor artist fella here, he's got his Taurus and Mercury. And it really plays out exactly in that way as an actor and as an artist, right? He's very talented. And, if you ask him a question on the spot, it takes him a minute to respond. He's got to kind of put it through the rinse cycle, in his own little way. And it's funny to see because I'm not as fast as a Mercury and Gemini. My Mercury's in Virgo. We'll get to that. But the only thing that stumps me, stuff dealing with my stomach. You ask me about food. Virgo and Mercury's got to think about that because they have to put it through the computer. Will that bother my stomach? You understand? Like that's the only way that slows down Virgo and Mercury. Little tip for you. If you're, married or dating or friends with a Virgo and Mercury person, you ask them about food, they're gonna slow down and stumble. Anything else, So Mercury and Taurus, they can be really into designing things, interior decorating, clothing. They really appreciate nature, fabrics, right? They value nice quality clothing. They might like to collect things. They want things to look a certain way, right? They present things well in terms of what they create or design. It's that's, you think about that Venus energy, and they also they're very relatable in terms of how they speak to others, right? Now remember, it's Taurus. We're talking fixed earth. So Mercury here in Taurus, they can be a little stubborn. They can be a little prudent, pragmatic, but you know what? They're aware of their money. Okay. They're aware of their money and how to, practically, take care of it, invest it. Taurus and Mercury people tend to, have good savings, want to be financially successful, things like that. All right. And, they can do it in an artistic way. They can also be even like really good chefs too, because, Taurus has got that whole element of the food and connecting to the earth. Right. So when we get to Mercury and Gemini, we got any people on? Everybody say what's up?
Yeah, we have 3 people on.
All right. Is the chat working here or not?
No, I don't think so, but I could read it right here.
Okay.
All right. We have someone new. J Polo Ferrari said, "Always on point with your knowledge."
Oh, what's up, J Polo Ferrari? Thank you.
And then
Welcome.
Watermoon Minx said,
Who?
"Hey, Watermoon Minx."
Oh, what's up, Watermoon? Are you cleaning in the background, or are you just rocking with me straight up and down? No, am I your background noise, or you got a glass of wine watching your boy, or something cool? Shoot, I might even have me a little Corona or something tonight. I guess I should say stuff out loud for advertising or whatever. But hey, I don't I don't really drink that much anymore. I stopped drinking heavy in my 30s, or early 30s. And anybody else?
Coach Michael's here, but Watermoon Minx said, "I'm in the building, I'm in the streets, but have you on in my headphones."
I love it. I like being in your headphones.
1H, Mercury and Gemini here.
Oh, that's Water Minx?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mercury and Gemini. Well, I'm getting to now. So when you have Mercury and Gemini, you can be a DJ. You have amazing hand skills. You are, Water Minx, as I say, the verbal slut. You are brilliant, right? You love to communicate and share and exchange ideas with people. You're exciting. Your mind is super, super fast. You can get bored. So Mercury and Gemini, they need the mental stimulation, almost like the Gemini moon. In terms of even communication for friendship, relationships, Gemini and Mercury, they don't want to be around some stoic person that's got nothing to say. That's a turn off and boring for them. So Gemini and Mercury, they can be extremely good actors, artists, musicians, singers, rappers, um, pianists, violin. They can be very good athletes too, because their hands are quick. So think tennis, ping pong, badminton, things, swimming. Okay. Mercury and Gemini are very good writers, right? I think you have like Andre 3000, Lauryn Hill, rappers, singers. So it's a very interesting placement because it's at home, and the energy itself can be. Now, what's interesting, there's other ways to see it in the chart, but sometimes depending on the house and what's squaring or opposing it or what's next to it in conjunction, when Mercury is in Gemini, Aquarius, or Virgo, you can also see learning disabilities, because it's almost like too much of the quick mind. So you could see, hints of Asperger's or autism, or things like that, ADHD, OCD. So I'd have to get into that. It's a whole nother episode. But there's
Coach Michael said Mercury in Sagittarius, 10th house.
Oh, what's up? There you go, 10th house. So you got the Pisces rising. Yeah, Coach Mike. So you know what I mean? So, and we'll get to yours, but so Mercury and Gemini is verbally, they're very talented. They're good writers. They tend to write short things. They might be like when they text people, they might do like the emojis and like, shorten down language. So you'd be like, oh, when someone texts you a certain way, you could be like, oh, that's Gemini and Mercury. You know what I mean? Maybe Water Mix will admit to that. But they don't necessarily like, long-winded texts. Like, certain people will text you a freaking novel. You're like, really?
Oh my gosh. I have a friend that does that.
And and so you're just like, please, it's a text message. If you're gonna text me a novel, we got each other's numbers. Just give me a phone call. All right. So that's the Gemini, and they love short distance travel. You know what I mean? Like they're quick to get in a cab. They'll call the Uber, the Lyft. They're on the train, the bus. They're just like all over the place. And know people and know all the spots in their local community, right? In terms of like, oh, this is a great place to eat. This is a great place to go. We got to go here. We got to go. Let's go dancing here. You know what I mean? So when we get to Mercury and Cancer, this is interesting, right? Now, it's the moon. So Mercury in Cancer, it's going to be more caring, more nurturing. It starts to slow down your communications, but it also has a very intuitive knowing. I had an aunt with this who just like she just kind of knew things. Like, I know, baby, and she always knew what to say. So one thing you'll find with Mercury in Cancer that I really like is that there's this, they need to know that they can trust you, right? Because it's moving sideways. The crab, it's got you on peep. Like, it's like, yo, let me see what you really about here. Okay, it's because it's safety and security, right? They're very soft on the inside. On the outside, it's that hard shell. The crab will flap out. And they can be very sensitive and moody with their communication. So like if you talk smack to them, they might not appreciate it, or they can't handle it. Like if you just, snapping and the Joneses, the dozens, dissing them, right? And so then they might snap back to overly aggressive, right? So it's kind of fascinating how the Mercury plays out. They can write longer stories, a novelist. They are more reflective in their communication. They might talk about family, food, nostalgia, memories. Okay. They're very intuitive though. So they will tell you things and you might not listen, and then it'll be like, they won't say I told you so, but you'll realize, wow, Cancer Mercury was right. I should have listened. Escuchen, tú sabes. You know what I mean? So yeah, Cancer and Mercury is they're dope. Definitely dope. Now, Mercury, I said Cancer and Mercury. Well, no, Cancer and Mercury, but now Mercury and Leo. Remember, I said it's exalted in Aquarius. So then when we get down here to Leo, the lion, multiplying, it's in its fall in the fifth house, right? And always remember, I'm just giving you an example, but don't always think the sign is the same as the house. There's differences. Okay. So everything that's in Leo is not in the 5th house. Everything that's in Cancer is not in the 4th house. Now that's the closest one. And same with the 3rd. But like, you know what I mean? There are little nuances and differences. So I don't want you to get stuck on that. And plus, it always matters what your rising sign is, right? You know, if your rising sign is Scorpio, then you got Aquarius in the 4th house. There's no Cancer there. Very different energy. Or Coach Michael, the Pisces rising, right? His his 4th house is, going to be the Gemini. So it just depends on, how it plays out. So when you're dealing with the Mercury in Leo, these people, the reason why it's at its fall, they can be a little verbally arrogant. They can be a little too prideful, right? Now they can be loyal, and their speech though can be very extravagant, dramatic, dynamic. So like I told you, and this is the first example of it, just because it's in its fall or debilitated like Sag and Pisces, like Michael and, Pisces, my wife's got that, it doesn't mean it's bad. So when you're here, Mercury and Leo in its fall, it means that your communications, they sometimes they can rub people the wrong way. That's all. And so you have to be mindful. So not to say that you're like, oh, I'm going to talk some slick talk and someone's going to be ready to punch me in my face, but you could be careful of how you talk, because sometimes you could be a little slick with the mouth and say something and somebody's like, what? You know what I mean? Because Mercury and Leo, it's a little spotlight on me, please. It's a little, but now Leo energy itself is great for the sun, okay for the moon, but Mercury, it's a different planet. So you have to look at each sign, how it plays in different planets, right? Because, in the sun, it's at home. So the Leo sun, very generous. It's going to be more high vibrational. When it's in its fall in Mercury, it can have some issues. Okay. There's a lot of me, myself, me, myself, and I conversations. They're talking.
Charlotte B said Mercury and Sagittarius in the 2nd house.
Oh, what's up, Charlotte B? Yeah, that's Scorpio rising. Mercury in the 2nd house is not bad. Now Sagittarius, we'll get there. But so when it's in Leo, remember it's the sun and it's fiery. So they can be very creative. Mercury and Leo people, they are a walking performance. They might be very flashy in how they speak. They might literally put gold in their mouth. Their conversations will be more about themselves, but they're going to be fun and entertaining. So just be mindful if you have this placement, can be very good for creative writing. You can see a lot of politicians with this. I think Barack Obama has Mercury in Leo. Okay. I think along with the North Node or something, see, and his son. So he's got interesting stuff. But, so Mercury in Leo, that's, it doesn't have to be negative. You just have to be aware of your signs with the planets. So then you control it. You control these planets. That's why you get your birth chart done. So you know the map of your life, right? TaylorToCoaching@gmail.com. You hit me up. Excuse me. Oh, man. And you guys, man, I'm doing the live readings now and also doing 1 question readings too. Only up to 2 questions. So $10 a piece. But the live readings, $55 for 30 minutes and $105 for an hour. Great. Record it, MP3, send it to you, send you a couple of little treats, nuggets. But it's, you get a lot of information, really cool. If you don't want to pay, the $175 or the $250 for like a full report that, it takes a couple of days for you to receive it. You want to just schedule with me, boom, boom, boom. You get the email in about an hour and I'll give you the MP3 and all that. And we meet over Zoom or however you like. And it's real nice. So now where we are today, right now. So right now, that's why I did the graphic like that. The ascendant is in Capricorn. The moon just entered Libra. And Mercury just entered Virgo. All right. So I figured it was the perfect time to do this. And I didn't have a guest scheduled this week. But make sure you guys watch that episode with Veronica Clark. You're going to love it. I can't believe I had technical issues. It was so amazing, but she's amazing and it's going to be great. She's the real deal, working a lot with women, dealing with sex and just healing themselves and having self-love and dealing with abuse, just all types of stuff. Okay. Sorry. I got this crazy itch from my mustache and my nose. Oh my God. Forgive me. But, it's raining outside out here. So it's been a rain equals pain for your boy. So Virgo and Mercury, it's at home here, right? In the Vedic sidereal, they say it's exalted. Hey, I'll take that. I appreciate that. But I view it as being at home, like it's true home. So Virgo and Mercury, different from Gemini, because what? It's a mutable. I'm sorry, Gemini was the mutable air, Cancer, the cardinal water. And when you get in Leo, the fixed fire, different from the Aries cardinal fire, fixed fire, more stubborn Leo, prideful, right? Arrogant, right? Now the Virgo is mutable earth. So it's the most airy of the earth signs. So Virgo's a little bit different from Taurus and Capricorn because it's ruled by Mercury, okay? So when you got the Mercury and Virgo, they like to fix things, fix people, assess, analyze. They're very cautious. They're also practical, critical, very self-critical. And they are, they're great film critics. They're great accountants, bankers, analyzing, assessing. They're good for nurses, lawyers, actors, because they know how to listen, assess, and study, and then practically place things. Virgo and Mercury is a great personal assistant. And they're just, they're also great for astrology, right? Because remember, astrology in ancient days wasn't looked at through Aquarius or Uranus. It was looked at through Mercury, because Mercury gets the messages. It's the messenger of God, right? So it would get the knowledge and what'd you say? Okay. And then, and so, because Mercury is logical and analytical thinking, right? So when you got to do longitude and latitude, and before computers, you had to figure out a birth chart and math and place and align things up. That's Mercury. So Virgo and Mercury is very good for astrologers, numerologists, stuff like that. Your boy is Virgo and Mercury. That's why I got you. Any questions or comments or anything?
No.
Okay. So Virgo and Mercury, though, their main issue is being too self-critical, and over analysis creates paralysis. They overthink stuff. Virgo and Mercury, and yes, it can, like, if you have certain alignments, this is where you can get like OCD. They can be like this, serious perfectionist, neat freak stuff. Thankfully, I don't have that, but there's certain alignments that you can have where you can see, I would say the OCD, and then you can even see, like, they're extremely intelligent. So sometimes you can see like the autism. I'm trying to think. They have a quick wit, just like Gemini. So they're actually good stand-up comics. I forgot to say that about Gemini. I mean, I said actors and artists, but Gemini, Mercury, great stand-up comics. Same thing with, we'll get there, Mercury and Capricorn, Mercury and Virgo, a couple other placements too. But, there's this, that Virgo, Mercury can be self-deprecating. All right. They know how to make fun of themselves. But they're good with quick, like as I started the show with the freestyle rhyme, they're good with mentally boom, 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 quick thinking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't usually forget where I'm at. I can go boom, 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 back and forth or whatever, and tie things up together, sum it up in a nice bow with the flow. So you go tic-tac-toe, now So that's Virgo and Mercury. It's a nice placement, I rather enjoy it. I find it like a smooth Cabernet and a chocolate chip mint cookie on the side. Capiche? So now when you get to Mercury and Libra, another air sign. Now we know Mercury likes to be in air signs too. Obviously at home in Gemini, exalted in Aquarius. But it doesn't mean it's any less intelligent or doesn't, balance out well in Libra. In Libra, I think sometimes people don't realize how intelligent Libras are. They're very intelligent. It's sometimes the problem is, though, even in their speech with Mercury, they can be passive aggressive and not make a decision because they're kind of weighing things out. They don't want to offend anybody. They want the peace, the balance, the harmony, right? But that can make them seem almost flaky and fake sometimes because they don't make a decision. They don't mean it in a bad way. It's just their nature.
Somebody new, KB, said Mercury in Libra.
Oh, KD? What's up, KD?
No,
Mercury?
KB.
KB. KB. Oh, man. I knew a dope rapper named KB. All right. So, my boy Kwame. But Mercury in Libra, bragging about you now, KB. Mercury in Libra is extremely great at sales and marketing, right? They're good mind for being a lawyer. They can master the courtroom. Great for, I think, who has this? I think Snoop and Eminem and Black Thought might have this. Great for writing and writing rhymes. But they know, because remember, it's got that Venus energy. They know how to verbally speak to make you, they're charming. Okay. So like when you listen to, KB or somebody else talk with the Mercury and Libra, now remember, it's not their speech. So it's not the tone of their voice, but it's the delivery. Mercury and Libra, it's going to be like boom, boom, boom. It's clean. It's classy. It's just like savoir faire. And you're like, okay, okay. But they're also great listeners. So listening is the key to good acting. So Mercury and Libra can make very talented actors, which is the same thing for a lawyer. That's why a lot of lawyers take acting classes. Mercury and Libra is also great for planning events. They know how to assess things, put things together. We need this over there. We need 300 of these. We need 200 of those. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? They'll get things done, and they're great negotiators. You want someone to negotiate a contract for you, an accountant, a lawyer, even banking. Acquisitions, they're very precise, Libra and Mercury. So this is a really good placement. And, they're smooth. They got the charm. The only thing that they have to really kind of work on is, yes, I said the passive aggressive, but I think Mercury and Libra sometimes they can overplay the devil's advocate. They can be the contrarian just to do it, so they can piss people off. You know what I'm saying? They can irk your nerves with some of that stuff. But, for them, it's probably fun, but they're very, very intelligent. Very good social workers too. Okay. And they'd be great relationship coaches, wedding planners, stuff like that. Now, when you get to Mercury and Scorpio, woo. Okay, now we're dealing with the Mars Pluto, right? Scorpio. Now, it's not in any fall or detriment here, all right? That's the Sag and the Pisces and the Leo. But Mercury and Scorpio, it can be a little intense. I mean, isn't Scorpio intense everywhere? But they when they communicate, it's more reserved, right? Unless they trust you. Mercury in Scorpio is about trust. They hate liars. They'll be as vague as possible if they can. They don't like to reveal things about themselves. At their time, they'll give you their dissertation when they're ready. Okay, but they're very. There's this magic about them. They can be great healers with their hands. These are your Reiki, acupuncturists, brujeria, santeria, white black magic. They can be massage therapists, do craniosacral work. Who else? Reflexologists, naturopathic, homeopathic doctors, ER doctors. That Mercury and Scorpio, they can handle the sudden event. Nothing is going to happen that's going to throw them off. They're like, cool. It's fixed water, y'all. They're as cold as ice. You know what I'm saying? It's really like you're not going to hit them with something that they can handle. You know, like they could take your body blow and then they're like, "Oof," and they're like, "I'm still standing." So Mercury and Scorpio is really interesting, and they definitely, you know, like to communicate about intimacy and sex. They can have a very powerful way of speaking, very intense. It's an intuitive intelligence too. They can be manipulative. They can be mean. They can be distant and cold. Um, if they want to lie, they can be brilliant liars. Okay. And Mercury and Gemini too. Okay. And Virgo. I mean, they can, you know, they can lie really well if they need to or want to. Um, and then now Mercury and Sag. Got to hit up Coach Mike. So when you're dealing with Mercury and Sag, right? It's at home in Gemini, so it's debilitated.
Oh, Crazy George said I got Mars and Mercury in Scorpio.
Ooh, Crazy George. What's the deal? You got to hit me up and get your birth chart done. Man, you're like a woo. That's a nice spark though for man, you could really work in the medical field too. But Crazy George, that's some intense investment banking. You can manifest some money, Crazy George. Okay. Or you could just be crazy and go on a robbing spree of banks. And get away with it. So Mercury and Sagittarius. Um, you know, remember, Sagittarius is Jupiter, the higher mind, the big picture, right? The beliefs, philosophies. So when Mercury is here, Mercury is like not so comfortable. Mercury is like, oh, you know, I don't want to talk about all that foreign travel and preaching and beliefs and philosophies. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the local community. We're going to the nightclub. We're going to go get a little smoothie. We're going to get a drink here. We're going to go get a shot of wheatgrass. We're going, you know what I'm saying? I'm going over here to Shorty's crib. It's a different, you know what I mean? Where Sagittarius is pontificating a little bit more. So Mercury here can be, can definitely publish and write a book. They can be a little preachy. This is where where it gets debilitated, right? Or in its detriment. Just so you know, those are the same terms, right? Debilitated and its detriment. So they can be a little too preachy, where they want to share their beliefs. And you have it in the 10th house, Coach Mike. So just make sure you're not sharing your beliefs and philosophies all the time at work, in the work environment, because other people might not want to hear that. They don't want to hear that Coach Mike only puts, you know, cottage cheese on his French fries, and that's part of his philosophy. They don't want to hear that. Okay, so and I'm sure you wouldn't do that. I think that's nasty. I just had to pick something crazy random. But as a little kid, I used to put ketchup on rice, so I ain't judging. You know what I'm saying? And my wife thinks that's nasty, but ketchup, you know, ketchup's almost like tomato sauce. What's the difference, right? Ketchup on rice, it was good. And on eggs too. I don't do that anymore, but shoot, it still tastes good. But so you know, Mercury and Sag, it's definitely you know, very much about dealing with your beliefs and but it's still very wise. But they can be, their communications can be blunt. If you ask a Mercury and Sag a question, do I look good in this shirt? They'll be like, no, not really. You know, they'll tell you straight up. So you got to watch what you ask a Mercury and Sag, because they're going to give it to you, and they can be very funny. Mercury and Sag can actually be a good stand-up comic. I think we got Jamie Foxx with that, right? Brilliant. And look, see, he can sing, act, funny, right? So Mercury and Sag, you know, there's other placements that explain that, but Mercury and Sag can be very, because this is mutable fire. Right, it's very flexible, interchangeable. It can like take its beliefs and philosophies and its wisdom, because Sagittarius is about its higher knowledge and wisdom. So they throw that out to the world through its Mercury in terms of how they communicate. Right now, these people like to travel. Coach Mike, you might not even be at home right now. You're probably on vacation somewhere, or you're planning a trip. Like Mercury and Sag, they love to go on journeys and adventures.
Waterman Mink said, do you think doctors/healers with Mercury and Virgo have any advantages with diagnosing people?
You'd have to look at other aspects of the chart, but yeah, I think, when you have Mercury in Virgo, remember, this is the one thing that's great about it there, and why the ancient astrologers in the Vedic sidereal, why they have it exalted there. Because Virgo, no one analyzes and assesses things, because Virgo's got that drive for perfection. It's the fix-it sign, right? It's the herb, and it's the wheat and the herbs, right? The virgin coming off the boat. So its whole thing is like nursing. So it's going to figure out like, okay, like how I tell you guys, putting tape over the mouth, right? I didn't come up with that, but somebody told me, and then I tried it, and then I realized, boom, I sleep better at night. So tape over your mouth helps with sleep apnea. That, you know what I mean? So Mercury and Virgo is always going to find ways, because they're not going to stop until they solve the problem. So I would say yes, water minks. They're brilliant, but you got to look at other placements, right? For that type of level, you want to look at the whole chart. But the Virgo and Mercury, just that placement, very good at analyzing and assessing a sickness. That's why I do chronic illness coaching, and I come out with a health plan for you guys. Right? I'm not a doctor, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. But it's about you and I together figuring out, because I went through a chronic illness. I was sick for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You've got to go through some stuff to then go be able to share it and teach it. And Virgo and Mercury, they know how to dispense the language in such a precise way, precise and concise. Yes, the kid is so nice. That's my lyrical vice, and I charge a higher price. So back to Sag. It's just great, and it's very funny. Mercury and Sagittarius, not just the stand-up comic, but very great storytellers. Now the thing is, they can lie. Mercury and Sagittarius can lie the booty off. Okay? Can have some lying preachers taking the money from the congregation, that type of stuff. So Mercury and Capricorn. Interesting, right? So Mercury and Capricorn is, cardinal Earth. It's initiating things. They like to set the goals, achieve the status, excel in the workplace. If they're the teacher, they're the first to have their lesson plans done. Mercury and Capricorn is their mind is focused on structures and being organized and disciplined. Okay. And I think Jim Carrey has this. Brilliant mind, right? Fire Marshal Bill, let me show you something. Oh, dude, one of the funniest cats ever, right? Liar, liar, mask. So, but think about that. Mercury and Capricorn, it's gonna write. They're great at writing business plans, right? They're great at working harder than you, processing and thinking harder than you. They're there for the long game. So their discipline is to climb the ladder. They're going to achieve at whatever corporation and company they're at, or starting their own business. They're gonna have the right foundation, the business plan, because it's about discipline, order, and structures. You know what I mean? And they will eventually push past any fears or anxieties they have, right? Because this is Saturn. But Saturn, as I tell you guys, you never fear it. You got to respond to your abilities, and Saturn brings you the greatest blessings. Okay? So Mercury and Saturn, though, Mercury, when you got Mercury and Capricorn, they got to watch out for breaking their hand, their bones, right? So that's something. And Mercury and Sag also, I forgot to say, could be, pretty good athletes. Yeah, definitely. We can see that too. And, because now these people also, Mercury and Capricorn, can be good at construction, architecture, dentists. Mercury and Capricorn, you'll see a lot of dentists with Mercury and Capricorn. Saturn rules the teeth. Okay. Now Mercury in Aquarius. Now Western Tropical, it's exalted. All right, with the tippy top to the left, right? So 11th house, Saturn, Uranus. Mercury here is got a little bit of a God complex, but they're brilliant. I mean, they are about to collect, they advance the society in a futuristic, innovative way. Oprah Winfrey, right? When you're shooting your threes. How we doing on time? Oh, okay, we're doing pretty good. All right. I'm gonna rock a little bit longer because I gotta open it up when I finish this to you guys saying your comments and questions, right? So when you have Mercury in Aquarius, though, it's literally shooting 30-foot jump shots like Curry, right? Starting your own network like Oprah, right? I mean, nobody ever thought of a talk show host, former local news anchor in Chicago, going from, I mean, she built it slowly and over time, but from that to having your own network, I mean, nobody's done that. She did that. You know what I mean? That's the Mercury in Aquarius. It's brilliant, but it's also it's very much about the collective and nonprofit humanitarian energy. I think Alicia Keys has this. Her Mercury could be in, I'm not sure. Because remember, Mercury, it's either the same sign. If you have Aquarius sun, it's either Mercury in Aquarius, Capricorn and Pisces, right? It's only one away. It's never more than like 30 degrees away. So, but it's very quick thinking. Now, even though it's exalted here, it can definitely have that God complex. Like I think Rakim might have this, right? Rakim Allah, the God MC. But I'm telling you, these people, super Frederick Douglass, maybe Lincoln had it here, super intelligent, and their writing is avant-garde, esoteric. They don't think or speak or write and communicate the way that other people do. You're always like, oh wow, okay, I didn't think of it that way. That's how you'll often, think about Mercury, an Aquarius type person, right? So what, 3-point lines like 22.8 feet, almost 23, but Curry's shooting it from 25 feet, almost 30 feet. But what does that do? It spreads out the basketball court, so then there's more driving lanes for other players to go to the hole and passing. And the way he moves without the ball, right? That's still athletic ability. It's Mercury. It's very abstract and weird and genius. The defender is exhausted just guarding Steph Curry when he doesn't have the ball, which is why he can catch the pass from Clay or Draymond and just spot up and shoot. The defender can't even jump up with him. He's exhausted and can't keep up with Cat. All right. So now, last but not least, Mercury in Pisces, where it's debilitated again or in its detriment. This is a very deep one. And this is why I say Leo, Sag, and Pisces, it's not bad. It's just you got to learn energy. So here, they learn and communicate best with pictures and concepts. Their Mercury is literally in the ethers, in the spiritual realm. It goes from the physical to the spiritual. So they're connected to the collective, all humanity. They're like communicating with trees and plants and animals. They think they told you something, but they never really said it because they just said it to themselves in their mind. They daydream often. Pisces and Mercury is very good. And this is why I'm telling you guys, honestly, for my wife, she's doing, tailored to you coaching, business and branding coaching. So when you want to brand a product, it's great because my wife, Alana Taylor, she visually sees stuff really from the subconscious and the spiritual realm to how to put these colors and market this and do that. And you're just like, whoa, what? And, and she'll show you in pictures and concepts. She might not explain it to you perfectly, but then when you see that in product, you're like, oh, that's gorgeous. Thank you. That's exactly how I wanted it. That's dope. Right. So, and she's great with doing graphics and stuff, she does my graphics for the podcast, sets that all up. Now, this one tonight, I did it. Not as good as the one she does, but it's okay. She was busy today. I didn't want to bother her. So I did it myself. I still think mine is okay. But, I just don't know, Canva like that, But Pisces, Mercury and Pisces, it's pulling stuff from source, from God. Now their communications as children, they can sometimes stutter or be learning delays, but still extremely intelligent. And they learn better, auditory learners, right? They're better with music and isolation when they're learning. Sagittarius, they need to learn with movement. They need to travel when they learn, even if they're just moving around the room or having headphones on, right? And then Leo, it's more like they need music or movement, creativity, colors around them. Leo needs bright colors around them when they're learning. So this is great for your children to get a birth chart done, because you can look in and figure out what's the best way to learn. And you look at the second, third, fourth house, you look at the Mercury, things like that. Okay. So let's get into some questions. I'm gonna rock for a little bit longer with you guys, at least other 15 minutes. Who's on, what they're saying? Tell me some more, ask questions.
KB said this is on spot.
Yeah, what's up, KB?
Did I already say Crazy George's?
Well, his first one, did he respond back?
No.
Mars and Mercury. Crazy George, how's your Mars and Mercury play out? What do you
That's
do?
all the comments.
Okay, what do you do for work? KB, thank you, man. Hit me up. KB's a fellow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually know.
It's a lady?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, KB, let us know you're a lady or a gentleman, but reach out to me, tailwithyoucoaching@gmail.com. Sorry, my chat's not up here, so my son is rocking with it, but yeah, just let me know. You guys got any questions about Mercury? So right now, I'm going to tell you in transit, right? Whatever sign you are. So like Coach Mike, I don't know if you're still there, but yours is in the 7th house. So this month, starting from today, the next 30 days or so, Coach Mike, you're going to be focused on partnership relationships, communicating, thinking about that, like dealing with 7th house issues and Virgo issues. So even the health, or analyzing or criticizing or perfecting your relationship, taking care of the health of yourself, your business partners, your spouse. Okay. Because it's in your 7th house, but it's 6th house ruler Virgo, right? So just be mindful of the transits, you guys, that really affect and light up your natal chart. So Coach Mike, you would look to see what's in your 7th house and know that Mercury is transiting it, in Virgo in your 7th house. So you might, let's say if you normally have your Pluto there, or your Uranus, or Uranus or Neptune, or let's say your Jupiter's there. Well, when Mercury's transiting it, it's going to light that house up, and then the conversation of Mercury and Jupiter will be going on, right? So you could be, dealing with finances. You could be dealing with biology. You might change your diet. You'd be like, you know what? I'm eating too much red meat right now. I'm going to try being a pescatarian. I'm going to just cut out the steak. I'm going to go with some fish, some more vegetables and fruit, and you try it for a bit. So that's how Virgo and Mercury also is very focused on health, communicating about health. So we're going to go through this time, as we go through the rest of August up to Labor Day. We're going to be very focused on what we're eating. Are we taking our zinc and vitamin C? We're eating our fruits and vegetables, drinking our distilled water, and focusing on our health. Also, like how you eat food, how it makes you feel in terms of your digestion and stomach. Okay. You're also going to be kind of very, you might have a critical eye on the news, what people are saying. You might be really analyzing, assessing, processing, and like, that doesn't, I agree with that. No, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? And it's okay. But this is the thing. In general, God, I'm acting like I don't need water, and I got water right here. I got to drink it. In general, you want to keep an open mind. It's like the philosophy of Bruce Lee. But, don't, especially when you're dealing with the Mercury, don't be closed off mentally, right? Like Coach Mike with Sagittarius and Leo, sometimes that's one of the issues where, even in Pisces, why it's at fall and debilitated, because they think they know everything and don't want to take in new information. When you have Mercury in Gemini and in Virgo, Aquarius, they're always wanting to learn the next new thing. Virgo wants to analyze it and assess it. Gemini just wants to learn it and speak about it, share the idea. Aquarius wants to learn about it, put it through the rinse cycle, and then innovate it. Like, how can they, what they learn, how can they put it through their spin, and be brilliant and abstract about it, and, bizarre and weird. Aquarius and Mercury, they have some weird ways of communicating. Okay. They can be a little verbally freaky and kind of cold and distant too. Okay. It's a very cold and distant way of speaking. If you had a mother with an Aquarius moon and Aquarius Mercury, you were like, well, thanks, mom. She could just be very intelligent. She could be very, always working and never at home, but she can be a little bit verbally detached and cold. All right. Any other questions or comments? No. All right, you guys. Well, let me know.
Oh, actually, no. Coach Michael said I have Pluto and Uranus in the seventh house.
Oh, so Mercury is going to light that up. Pluto, Uranus. Now, see, Coach Mike, how did I know you were Pluto generation? How did I know that you were a sage, wise man? So, Pluto and Uranus, Coach Mike, you can be a dynamic healer. And you might know that and you might not know that, but I want you to know that. When it's in the seventh house, you can manifest relationships, partnerships. You can be very transformative when it comes to negotiating and closing deals. But you got to understand, you have a kind of a revolutionary spirit. You're kind of a rebel. Remember, Pluto Virgo generation from 56 to 70, this was protesting war. This was acupuncture, vegans, vegetarians, anti-Vietnam. This was free love. This was, the revolution with drugs. This was RFK, JFK, Malcolm X, the Black Panthers, MLK. So when people are born during this time, Pluto, Virgo, they really are about humanity. They brought in the labor unions, right? And then with the Uranus. So you were only born, Uranus and Pluto, this is only between 63 and 67. I don't mean to tell your age, but it's only a short little period. So that makes you, Uranus and Virgo can make you a brilliant healer. So you could heal. Now you might have, more than one wife or marriage, but you can heal relationships. You can be innovative about like how you make deals go down. You could be a brilliant lawyer. I mean, whatever you do, it doesn't matter the career, but you come at it in a very abstract way that's just, you got powers, Coach Mike. Okay, so don't sleep on yourself. But with Mercury hitting that up now, it's going to kind of activate you to see what else you need to purge. What contracts, what negotiations, do you need to have 2 cell phones, Coach Mike? Do you need to have, 6 TVs in the house and all, and you're overpaying these contracts and negotiations? You know what I mean? Like you have the, too much streaming going on. Well, purge some of it. Save some of that money, invest it, right? Mercury is going to make you be more analytical, critical, self-critical, and detailed about that. Same thing with your health. Okay? Because
he said, "Wow, you know your stuff. I got it. I got it reading from you." And then
he said, "What? He got a he needs to get a reading from me."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hit me up, man. No, I'm saying, Coach Mike, for real. Like you can, and remember this with the Mercury hitting that, you're going to start assessing, and with the Uranus, you're going to start to assess. Now, also, you could have some sudden events happen in the next month that can shake stuff up with relationships, marriage, an affair. sudden stomach issues. You know what I mean? Maybe you wind up having ankle or wrist surgery, just random things. You could be, you might be, since you're older, you might be like, yo, I want to get back out on the court, play some basketball. And then all of a sudden you hurt your wrist shooting a fadeaway and your elbow hits like some short, big dude's head or something. You know what I mean? So just be mindful. When Mercury lights that seventh house up, it's mainly going to be about the other half, how you're perceived by others and how others perceive you. But it's partnerships, relationships, stuff like that. All right. But yeah, hit me up, Taylor2coaching@gmail.com. Come on. I'm a Virgo and a Scorpio rising, Capricorn moon. I got you. I got all y'all. I know my stuff. Me not for joke. Me not for joke. But yeah, it'd be my pleasure, my honor to do your chart, And I have different services, So, the big shebang, the 40 to 50 minute mini movie custom video summary with the written report and videos, that's $250. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Just the regular chart, written and videos, full 12-house reports, $175. But if you want a live one where it's no written stuff, but you get an MP3 and we meet live and break down the chart, that's only $105. It's not that much, and it's worth it. Because this is the map of your life. Even if you're, 54, 55, 60 years old, you still want to get this knowledge so you know how to rock out the next 35 to 40 years. And you know how to deal with things. You know how to help your children, your grandchildren, if you have any. How to deal with your marriage, how to deal with your mistress, whatever it is. How to make sure you get rid of, cut down your cable bill, and you know what I mean? So just, and also to take care of your health. Because sometimes we're driving the car and we think it's going good, and we're putting stuff in there besides the premium oil, the premium gasoline. We're putting in a little Wendy's cheeseburger, we're putting in some fried food, and we're putting in, and we're like, oh, I'm okay because I drink water. Yeah, but if you eat, like crap, you can do it for 55 years, but you know what? Like year 60, 61, the car might just crash, and all of a sudden you're in the hospital and they got surgery and stomach cancer. You know what I mean? So we have to humble ourselves as human beings and take this vessel that God gave us and treat it with the utmost care and try to be intentional about what we say, and remember, for all of us with Virgo and Mercury at this time, we're going to be a little tougher on ourselves. So be kind to yourself. Virgo and Mercury, sometimes I used to this is my natal placement. So right now it's in my 11th house. I used to verbally destroy myself and be very critical of myself, critical of the world and everything, because it's the 11th house. So very critical of the collective, which I am. And I should be, and so should you. But you know what I mean? But I was always too self-critical. And I'm learning, and I teach it to my clients and you guys, you are no longer in the business of negative self-talk. The whole world's going to try to do that for you. So you got to build yourself up. And it might sound corny, but literally be in the mirror and be like, yo, Coach Mike is dope. Like, take the time to feed. Because, I tell people all the time, who killed Tupac and Biggie? And the church said, Tupac and Biggie. You can't write and speak about death and don't think it's going to come knocking on your doorstep. So when you speak, that's universal law. Whether it's the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, that's, Hindu, Buddhist, that's universal law. Words have power. So when you speak victory, money, and success, that's what's going to happen and come in your pocket. I'm speaking them birth charts coming, a couple more this week. You know what I mean? And you got to understand, it's so muy importante to speak positive about yourself, because think of it like God is up there watching you on the big screen, and he's like, I made you. Why is my child speaking so badly about themselves? I didn't make them like that. I made them out of pure love. Think about, you as a father or as a mother, and you have a child, you don't ever want to say nothing, want your child to think anything bad about themselves. I got 4 boys. I love them to death. I tell them all the time, I want them to be taller than me, stronger than me, better looking than me, richer than me, have bigger house than me. I want them, you know what I mean? I don't want anything less for them than I have for myself. I want my kids to blow me away, because that's my heart and my joy. And that's how we should all be. Be that intentional about the words you say about yourself. All right. So I'm about to bounce and get ready for the late.
We actually have
some more comments. All right.
Yeah, Emily Boost, I believe.
Hey, Emily, you're new. Welcome. Episode 28, Knowledge is Love. I try to come on once or twice a week and spit it unique with my lyrical technique. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Okay. She said Mercury, first house, and Scorpio.
Woo! What's up, girl? I'm a Scorpio rising too. You got to hit me up and get your birth chart done.
She says she's gonna.
She's gonna. Tailor to you coaching at gmail.com. Email me directly, Emily. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm actually better than Allstate. But, when you got Mercury in the first house and Scorpio, you know what that means. Of course you're watching.
Oh, Matt Gaming's here.
What's up, Matt Gaming? I missed you, man. You missed the last bunch of podcasts. What's up, stranger? How you doing, brother? Another Scorpio rising. Salute, salute. But you know what that means? Mars and Pluto's your chart ruler, but Mercury in the first house, that means you look to your 8th house, and there's a reason why you're into the occult and the hidden angel. And just, occult is just hidden knowledge. And that's what astrology, numerology, human design, all this stuff is, right? The metaphysics. So that means you look to your 8th house from the Gemini in the first. And so Emily, you could be a great manifester. You could probably also suddenly get an inheritance. You know what I mean? But you like to communicate about those 8th house topics, power, money, transformation, control, obsession, sex, these different things. So, Mercury in Scorpio is, you can be a very talented healer too, Emily. You know what I mean? You might give very good massages. You might do craniosacral Reiki work. You could be an ER nurse, doctor, but you could also be a brilliant financial advisor, planner, banker. You know what I mean? So, I'd have to see your whole chart, but just from that one placement, these are a lot of the gifts and skills that would come easy to you. I'd let you manage my money, so, but yeah, hit me up. I'm here, but I always tell people, don't wait, because the longer you wait, it just pushes you out. Right now I'm booked up until almost the end of the month. What's today? The 11th? Yeah. But the live readings I try to squeeze in between my coaching and people who are doing charts that, take a few days. The written reports, excuse me, take a few days. It's a lot of work, but most astrologers don't give you written reports. Not like the way that I do, because I give you I give you this because I want you, I don't want to give you fish. I want to teach you how to fish. So I want you to learn this knowledge. And I am going to hopefully I'm going to get it done. I'm definitely going to do it. It's just trying to get it all done, designing it, because that's my problem, the Virgo perfectionist, right? I got Virgo, Mars, Mercury, Sun, Pluto. So, but I'm going to teach a 9-week course of Introduction to Foundation Astrology, teaching you the houses, the planets, the signs, and a little taste of medical astrology. You know what I mean? Because I want to do that for you guys. It's importante. So yeah, Emily, hit me up. Anybody else? Because I'm about to bounce. Got to get some dinner. Get ready for my Lakers Knicks NBA Summer League.
Yeah, it's Emily again.
Uh-huh.
She said my Pluto and Mercury conjunct in the first house in Scorpio.
Oh, you left that out. You left out the Pluto. Okay, Pluto Scorpio generation. But then you definitely got to hit me up, because I'm Pluto Virgo. Now, Pluto and Leo generation is supposed to be helping you guys out, but they're not doing their job. So Pluto and Virgo has got to step up and help the Pluto and Scorpio generation to flower and grow, to transmutate. And it actually makes sense that it's better, because Virgo and Scorpio were one. That's why when you look at the glyph, the M and then the stinger and then the M and the loop, Libra came in to separate it, right? To bring balance. Scorpio's the dark side of the darker side, and Virgo's the lighter side. But they're both healers. And I'm all Virgo and Scorpio in my chart. So I'm the investigative healer, the lyrical surgeon who's splurging, you know? So definitely hit me up. It would be my honor to do your chart, okay? And, all my prices will be down below in the description. You see it all over my site. So, but, watch any of my videos and you can look at the description. But once this is done, I'll, edit it or whatever and put it up in the description, but it's basically 250, 175, and then 105 for the live. I do solar returns, business birth charts. Oh my God, my business birth charts are, they're blowing up. I just been hooking up some dope companies. Oh my God. You want an exclusive, you got to check out exclusivetents.com. I just did their chart. Yeah, they're dope. International exclusive tent. They're tents for ballers. You got to be a baller. All right. So be a baller and hit your boy up. Plus, you got to get birth charts, man. I got 3 kids that need braces. This guy just got braces in his annual perfection year of Saturn. Teeth, braces. Told you, astrology don't make no mistakes. Right?
Yeah.
So he just got braces. Then I found out the younger 2 got to get braces. I got to check out their annual perfection year. Because they're probably going to get it after their birthday. So let's see. Capricorn. So it's really deep. It's really, really deep. It's
Oh, Carrie Ann is here too.
Oh, Carrie Ann, I'm getting ready to get off, lady. How you doing? Finally, you caught alive. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, Dollface. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh man. Sometimes you be wilding out on your comments. I don't even know what you're saying. I know you speak in code, and I love it, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, she said been busy the last few days. Sorry.
I know you're busy. I'm only playing with you. And but make sure you guys come back on when I have Veronica Clark on. It's gonna be dope. I'm waiting for her to confirm a date. I'm trying to get Thursday the 19th. But that's tentative. But I will let you guys know. But I'm trying to get her to come back on because I had technical difficulties when I thought it was going to be on. But she's amazing. It's going to be great. All right. So I'm a bounce. Carrie Ann, thank you for rocking. Any last questions or comments from anybody about Mercury? Let me know. You hit me up, taylor2coaching@gmail.com. I might release some new music on this for you. Actually, you know what? You guys got to check the Patreon because I'm about to put some new music on Patreon. And I think I'm going to be releasing a new song on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, stuff like that. I've been, working on some music. My 3rd album won't be out probably for another year. I'm just getting all my tracks and artists and people I want to rock with together. But that's E-Complete. That's the hip hop. So that'll be coming out soon. But I might even drop a little something on here, or definitely on my Patreon. So join my spiritual family on Patreon. It's only $5 or $10 a month. I give away a lot of free knowledge on here. So, hey, hook your boy up. I bid you adieu. Love you guys. Thank you. This has been fun. And remember, knowledge is love. If you love someone, you keep them in the know. Never have them guess, assume, or believe because they could do that wrong. All right? Episode 28, never hesitate, never late, always stay great. Virgo and Mercury is ready to debate. Peace. Taylor 2 Coaching.
Yeah.
All right.